I hereby declare that on this day, October 30th, 2006, the first official off-topic Master of Your Domain Iron Man competition shall commence.
Oh my God, Master of Your Domain! This
a
whole thing is a Seinfeld reference. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
This whole episode.
Gotta do it. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, do it live.
If the third to last episode of Culture Just Weird of this season sounds different than the other ones, so be it.
We may have to let the podcast got in. I don't know if you guys heard that. We are actually recording in our brand new pod palace. Kayla and I just moved, and we're in a little bit of a temp setup here.
It's
so
not
apologies
normal.
if the sound quality is somewhat below our usual standards. It's quite possible that you won't notice a difference at all. But being that we are anal retentive, nitpicky divas, both of us, we're gonna make this disclaimer because it bothers us.
But if you happen to be one of our Patreon subscribers, you will absolutely notice a difference because we will not just be constantly talking about the slew of cars driving through our apartment.
Right. So that's
in
good.
our outtakes.
Right.
We'll actually have good quality outtakes from now on because it won't just be car, game on.
Oh, but Kayla, you don't have to subscribe to us to hear our outtakes on Patreon. You can just
True.
You can just go to our Patreon and hear the outtakes for free.
The bloopers are free to the public because we want you to know what fools we are. We want everyone to know what fools we are.
Yeah, it's really important, that part. But you do have to pay if you want to get the bonus episodes.
And the bonus episodes, pretty top notch, not going to lie.
They're the best thing that anybody has ever recorded.
I mean, true. Yeah.
All right. This is Culture Just Weird. I'm Chris. I am a data scientist and game designer.
I'm Kayla. I am a TV writer and an owner of some very annoying cats.
All right, I'm letting him inside. All right, podcast Scott in the room. He might still be annoying, but at least he won't be screaming at us from outside of the pod palace.
Instead, he'll scream at us from inside.
Oh God.
So before we get into the episode, do you have any business? Do we have anybody to shout out? Do we have anything to do?
I don't know. I haven't thought about business, actually. We moved.
Yeah, we've been in the business of moving.
We only have this episode and then 3 more for the end of season 3 of Culture Just Weird. How does that feel, Kayla?
It feels good. It feels like, I don't know, this season has felt very momentous, has felt...
Monumentous?
Monumentous. It's felt full. It's felt dynamic and varied.
Weird.
And
culty.
Weird and culty. So how does it feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Not even that far from the end, and we're like, oh, that's...
No, I know. We should probably save this for our final episode, but since we're being contemplative, yeah, I don't know. I never would have guessed that we would have had 3 seasons of this. I didn't even know we were going to do this.
Yeah.
And now we're like, let's reminisce
you.
After season 3. Holy shit.
One day I ambushed you, and I was like, we're going to talk about this thing. Go.
Yeah. Well, you said, like, let's do a podcast. And I was like, what? And then you were like, oh, remember actually, wait, no, how did that go down?
I don't know. We've talked about it so many times. We'll save it for the
I mean, we
Patreon.
knew that we had, like, a cult or just weird thing when we went to Best Friends. But I don't know when that thing turned into, oh, it's a podcast. That's what I'm not sure about.
I think because we talked about it as, we've said this story before, we've talked about it as an idea for a TV show, like a Nat Geo style, like,
oh, right,
taboo or TV show.
Okay, well, Nat Geo, if you're listening to this, I mean, that's still on the table.
Buy us out. Okay, are we ready to get into this episode then?
Yes, I have absolutely no idea what you're going to talk about.
I have no idea if this is going to be long or short. I'm not sure. It could go by quickly. We could get into the weeds. I don't know.
Do you know how long your script is?
That's
usually a pretty good guidance.
It's not a good guide for me because I think I talk really fast.
Oh.
So, it's November. It's the holiday season. Thanksgiving's around the corner. Christmas and the winter holidays are close behind.
I love that you do like seasonal themed episodes. Like remember when you did Spirit Halloween the first season? And
this one is very timely.
That was a stretch.
November has also become a month where various groups and organizations become active or set goals. Maybe you've heard of NaNoWriMo or...
What? No.
NaNoWriMo? You never heard of NaNoWriMo?
No, what's NaNoWriMo?
National Novel Writing Month. It's a 501c3 that puts on a yearly creative writing event in which writers set out to write 50,000 words towards a novel during November.
Okay.
Or you yourself have participated in something called Movember.
Yeah, with the mustache. Like I forget... isn't that like a charity or something associated?
It's so Movember is it's a yearly event
November.
in which people grow mustaches to raise awareness on men's health issues, particularly male-focused cancers like prostate and testicular cancer and male suicide.
Oh, I didn't even know I was doing that when I participated. It was like everyone in the office did it that one year.
You just wanted to look like Ron Swanson.
Which I did.
You did.
Pretty successfully. And I ate all the bacon and eggs that they had.
And you did.
Just so you know, I have presently figured out what this episode is about.
I was wondering. So in the spirit of the season,
boy,
we're going to be talking about a similar and yet very different annual November event.
What could it be, Kayla?
Today we're going to be talking about No Nut November.
Can we title this episode like "Guaranteed to Make You Lose No Nut November"? Just like the clickbaits.
Yeah. Before we dive in, though, I do have a PSA.
Okay.
If you are one of our mothers, or if you are a friend of one of our mothers, or if you are a maternal figure in any capacity,
or just anyone that we would be
familially
embarrassed,
yeah. Please turn off the podcast now, right now. Please do not listen any further. I am literally begging you.
You know that that's just going to make them want to listen more.
Please,
This will not work.
We're going to be engaging in a deep dive discussion about male masturbation and everything that goes along with that. And I would like to still be able to look you all in the eye across the Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner tables. So please.
Wait, you said no nut. I thought this was about like peanuts and walnuts.
Yeah, it's about allergies.
Let's just pretend before they all tune out, before all of our mothers and mothers' friends tune out. Let's just say it's about peanut allergies, to awareness of peanut allergies.
Awareness of peanut allergies.
So nobody eats peanuts.
That's all you need to know.
The whole month.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, turn off the podcast. Bye-bye.
Are you still listening?
They're definitely still listening.
I'm serious. Stop it right now.
This is like nuclear semiotics.
Don't care.
This is like the more you warn someone, the more you're like nothing honorable is here. The more they're going to want to listen.
The moms are gone, so let's get into it.
Okay, that's headcanon. Moms are stopped listening.
Chances are many of our listeners have already encountered No Nut November, and you may even be very familiar with it.
Maybe even have participated in No Nut November.
The more online you are, the more this is something that you've just absorbed via osmosis. So, in case you don't know, No Nut November is an internet challenge that originated in the 2010s, exploding in popularity over the last 4 or 5 years or so.
Wait, 2010?
2010s.
I did not. 2010s.
We'll get into the history. Don't
I had
worry.
no idea when it started.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. The goal is to abstain from masturbation and orgasm during the entire month of November and is primarily centered on cis male people. Oh, and on the very, very off chance that you don't know, nut means orgasm, basically.
Oh, yeah. So
to nut is to come.
Since the moms are gone, we could admit that it's not actually about peanuts and walnuts.
No.
It's about the act of male orgasm that creates the,
But ladies can nut too.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
It's just, it's definitely a phallocentric term, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Is that like ladies with penises can nut, or is that like we also refer to the female orgasm as nutting? Like, would you say?
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying with referring to anyone with any kind of genitalia as nutting.
Okay,
but
so
the
it's a blanket term
that
originated with the more of the like cis male
with a cis male penis.
Okay.
The official rules of No Nut November are 1, don't nut.
That's in the name. Like, I think we knew that one.
All forms of nutting are considered to be a disqualification. If you go through a physical sensation of an orgasm, you are disqualified from No Nut November. You can still like masturbate, you can edge, you just can't nut.
Okay, so edging must be pretty popular for No Nut no nutters?
Well, I think that edging generally is viewed as it's going to lead to your downfall much quicker.
Oh, so it's like a danger. I mean, edging is dangerous anyway. It's called edging.
Very dangerous.
It's living on the edge. What should I call members of this cult? Is it no nutters? Is it?
I don't know.
Is it non?
NNNers? I don't know.
NNN non-nuts. I don't know. I also have a question.
Yes.
If I sneeze 10 times, does that disqualify me? Because they say that a sneeze is 1/10 of an orgasm.
As long as it is not in the pee-pee, you're good.
As long as I don't sneeze out of my pee hole?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, I think I'm good then.
Involuntary wet dreams are an exception to this rule. But,
okay, good. See, that's good. I would have been upset.
There is some, like, conversation about it. Like, it's very controversial. Like, I know that there's some people that are like, oh, one wet dream, you're out. There's some people that are like, if you can have one and that's it. There's also, like, in the official rules, if you can lucid dream and you have a wet, like, you make yourself have a wet dream.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
Disqualification.
Well, I also kind of feel like there's this gray area of, like, bad faith where, you know, like, what if you, like, look at a bunch of porn just before you go to sleep and then you, like, listen to some track that's, like, have a, you know, sexy dream audio track.
If you are willingly trying to get yourself to come, you are disqualified.
Yeah, that's...
You can watch porn, you can masturbate, you can have sex, you just cannot nut by climax.
Okay.
Number 2, no coupons.
Coupons?
Any form of nut coupons, including birthday sex or any other one-time freebie coupons.
Oh. Yeah, of course.
Instantly disqualifies you from this challenge.
Yeah, it doesn't say no nut with exception. It's no nut November.
If those who spread these and anything NSFW are called nut dissenters. So it's like it's also banned from the communities to like try and tempt or disqualify other people by like posting porn. Like you can't post suggestive images.
But people must do that anyway.
We'll get to the culture on the Reddit.
We'll get to that.
If you're looking for loopholes, then you've already lost. There are no 3 strikes either.
Of course not.
Number 3, uncontrolled nuts. No Nut November is about making the conscious decision to not orgasm and to fight against sex or pornography addiction. Because wet dreams are a natural body response that participants are unable to control, wet dreams do not disqualify them from No Nut November. However, if the said dream is a lucid one, then the participant is automatically disqualified. So number 3 is further clarifying the rules of number 1, don't nut.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does that apply to other states of consciousness other than dreaming where I may have an involuntary nutting?
Like what?
I
Like
don't
hypnosis?
Know. Like what if I'm...
if you go seek a hypnotist to make you nut...
No, yeah, that's what... So clearly the intent matters here, right? So, but I'm saying like, it feels like if unintentional nutting during my sleep doesn't disqualify me, then like unintentional nutting during like, I don't know, if somebody gives me anesthesia or something, that should also not count. I don't think you can nut
while you're under.
You can't?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we already talked about Seinfeld in this episode, so why not talk about it again? What about the dentist episode where he thinks that they're doing...
Where he thinks that he was raped?
Yeah, while under.
I don't think that rape falls under the rules of No Nut November.
Okay.
And I'm shocked
Actually,
that you
that's
even
a good
asked.
question, too.
This is not funny.
All right. I'm just trying to figure out the rules and the parameters here.
That's not even part of it. Number 4, moving right along from you and your filth. All may participate. Participation is allowed by all. There are no restrictions as to who may participate.
So egalitarian.
Number 5, begin and finish No Nut November in your time zone. You must begin this challenge during November 1st in your local time zone and end when it is reached December 1st at midnight.
Okay.
Moving to other time zones is possible.
That was going to be my next question is like, can I reduce the time for my No Nut November by traveling time zones on the last day?
I don't think traveling, but if you have to move, they're not going to disqualify you if you have to move.
Okay. So again, it's more of like an intent thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like the amount of thought and detail that has been put into this. Like that's really important. You got to cover all the edge cases.
It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, pretty clear, pretty concise, right?
I think so.
It probably originally started as a joke, and don't worry, like I said, we're going to dig into the beginnings, but it has since grown into something much bigger, and it beautifully occupies that troll, not a troll space that we often talk about.
Right. And
has also taken on just an entire life of its own. There are many people that apparently take the supposed health benefits of abstaining from male masturbation very seriously and promote those benefits. And it is just, It's just a strange bit of internet ephemera, and because it's November, we are here to peek under the hood. So let's go. Let's start at the beginning.
Don't put it that way.
Why not? What's wrong with that? It's cars.
Wait, you said the supposed health benefits of abstaining from masturbation. So are we going to dovetail into NoFap here? Is that?
Oh, baby.
All right.
You better believe it.
We'll get to that. All right.
No Nut November first appeared on the internet as an entry to Urban Dictionary on November 3rd, 2011. Urban Dictionary. Sorry.
God bless Urban Dictionary.
I don't know if I can say this. It's the best name of all time. Urban Dictionary user Bic Boy 6969696969. I can't say that with a straight face. Bic Boy 6969696969 defined it as a challenge.
A scholar, a true scholar of our times.
In which, quote, an individual must not masturbate for the month of November. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of existed in that fringe space on the internet for, 6 years or so. So I'm pretty sure that I saw references to No Nut November in the time after 2011, but before 2017 when it really took off.
Oh, I didn't know that's when it turned the corner.
It took off in 2017.
That's probably when I started hearing about it.
Yeah. I can't find the original entry on Urban Dictionary. I think it's since been removed, but there are other more recent entries, and several other entries have popped up that actually include they reference Bic Boy 6969696969.
Yeah, as they
and
should.
saying he first posted about this.
Right. I mean, he did the original research on this, so.
Know Your Meme, the wonderful treasure trove of the internet, of course, does a wonderful timeline of events, and that largely helped me put together the timeline that I'm going to share with you now.
Okay.
On November 1st, 2017, someone going by the username I Hate Thoughts on Twitter.
Me too.
I_H8THOTS. So I hate thoughts, not thoughts in your head, but thoughts as in loose women.
Oh, I'm more pro thought.
Same. This is also a shit posting account, so again, troll not a troll, don't take anything seriously. But they posted the following tweet, quote, not even a day into No Nut November, and I've already beat my meat like it owes me money.
That's a pro shit poster right there.
From what I can tell, the tweet itself didn't exactly do numbers on Twitter. As of right now, in 2021, it has 94 retweets, 7 quote tweets, and 158 likes. So, I mean, respectable. I've never gotten a tweet that went that far.
No.
But not exactly viral, right? And if you look at I Hate Thoughts Twitter, again, it's mostly other memes and shit posts and stuff like this. But it looks like they haven't really tweeted since 2019. So, I want to know where they went. Well,
maybe they like thoughts now.
Maybe they like thoughts now, and they had to they switched over to I Heart Thoughts.
Yeah.
So again, while this tweet itself didn't exactly blow up on Twitter, it did make its way to popular subreddit r/BlackPeopleTwitter as a screenshot. So r/BlackPeopleTwitter is generally, I mean, it's got I think several million, maybe a million or more subscribers, and it often screenshots funny tweets from Black people, or just some funny tweets that might relate to Black people in some way, or might tickle Black people in some way, and they post them there, and
like
people
Black
laugh
culture,
about it.
Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was submitted by user Davil America. They titled the screenshot, quote, "Can any man survive No Nut November?" ? Over the following week, that post generated over 33,000 upvotes and 1,200 comments. The same day, a YouTuber known as 3IO, THREEIO, posted a video titled "Welcome to No Nut November." We'll post a link to it. It's basically just a very like a half-minute video where the YouTuber is playing with the idea of don't touch those nuts, and just showing bowls of nuts. Don't touch those, hands off those nuts this November.
So it is about not touching the nuts.
This YouTuber has 534 subscribers, and that video currently has 80,186 views.
Holy shit.
They posted another No Nut November video in 2018, which was longer, and they're acknowledging, I'm just trying to ride the wave of my previous success. That video only has 316 views. Still high in my opinion, not viral.
Okay.
The rest of their videos also appear to be steamed in meme culture, shit posting, bordering on edgelord type stuff, offensive for offensiveness sake, anime, that kind of thing, that kind of internet culture. They haven't uploaded in a year. On November 3rd, 2017, an anonymous 4chan poster posited a challenge to the poll board that reads as follows. So poll is politics, the political board.
And is that where Q first posted, or Or no?
I think so. And that's also where cicada originated.
Yeah, there's like a lot of weird / bad shit / whatever that originates on that part of 4chan. Yeah.
So this post went as follows. Quote, I challenge Paul to No Nut November. Can you abstain from beating your meat for 1 month? Do you want Chad confidence? Do you want to become a pheromone phenomena, attracting women from all 4 corners of the city?
Oh man, he's pulling a lot of stuff in here that we got to explain.
Do you want to have a rock-hard libido and enough testosterone to fuel a football team? Do you want mental clarity and reach nirvana? Well, start here by proving to yourself in the world that you have the smidgen of discipline required to not touch your front tail.
Front.
And then there was a YouTube link underneath all of this. Hold on. There was a YouTube link that went underneath all of this that went into a video about the NoFap lifestyle that Chris already mentioned. And I will say right now, we will get to that a little bit more a little bit later. We'll get to that.
So pheromones are... It's not proven that humans have pheromones, but
sexy
pheromones...
smells that might emit off your body. Animals have them. People
Animals
do
have
not.
pheromones. They're all... It's not specifically sexy smells. It's just sort of like colloquialized that way. But like ants use pheromones to like tell other. It's just. It's like
chemical communication.
Chemical communication is what it is. Yeah. And then what was the other thing?
Chad.
Oh right. Chad. You mentioned Chad.
Yes, I always mention Chad.
We should always be mentioning Chad. Chad has just become shorthand on the internet for like awesome, virile,
like
alpha
male
sex god.
It's all the ladies.
Originally it came from the incel community. As sort of like the antithesis to the incel was the Chad.
That same day, Twitter user Bill Ratchet tweeted, quote, Day 2 of No Nut November. When going pee, I have refrained from even touching my penile region. I just pull my pants down and look away. This tweet got a little more traction than I Hate Thoughts. This one has 1,585 retweets, 36 quote tweets, and 7,745 likes. And Bill Ratchet has 465,000 followers.
Wow.
The next day, November 4th, 2017, Reddit user Chris2015 asked on r/outoftheloop, which
is not me.
This is not you, a different Chris. This is KRYS. So r/outoftheloop is a subreddit where folks can go to ask questions about things they're uninformed on, particularly current events. And this post said, what is with No Nut November? The post generated 88 upvotes and 60 comments and has since been removed. Then a few days later, a now suspended Twitter account @CuteEmergency posted an image stating, No Nut November participants have 3 strikes before they're considered to have failed the challenge, which you will notice...
Yeah, that is bullshit.
...was referenced in the official rules. There is no 3 strikes. Over the next day, this tweet generated 1,900 likes and 670 retweets.
Did you say where the official rules came from?
Well, in the meantime, a dedicated subreddit was born. That is where the official rules come from.
I see.
On November 3rd, 2017, r/No Nut November went up, created by a user named Yeeval, Yeeval. They have since, they're still a member of the community, but they have since stepped aside, and there are other moderators that are shepherding the community.
I'm glad people have stepped up for like the leadership roles that we all need.
There are, yes. By 2018, the subreddit had 16,500 members. By 2019, 52,000.
Oh my God.
2020 saw 85,000 members, and it currently has 115,000 self-identified nut comrades.
Nice.
The subreddit launched an off-Reddit website in November 2018, nonutnovember.org.
Oh my God.
And I highly recommend that you check it out because it has a lot of that like pre-Web 2.0 charm that we're constantly like railing on about. Like it's basically just a website embodiment of the like idea of shit posting and meme posting. There's like lots of colors and graphics and poorly placed text and hyperlinks, opportunities for vandalism, meme after meme after meme, just like really good stuff. And like it's blue. It's great.
Sounds wonderful.
It's great. There's an official subreddit affiliated Twitter with 450 followers, an Instagram with 162 followers, a YouTube with 483 subscribers, and a video of the No Nut November anthem, Not Today, with over 17,000 views.
There's an anthem.
There's a Facebook page with a couple dozen followers, a Minecraft server. A Minecraft server.
A Discord, I'm sure.
A Discord server with 2,500 members. I did look at it, but Discord overloads my brain very quickly.
Yeah, I like how they've done the thing
Covered all their bases.
they got to cover all your social media bases these days.
There is also a very professional press kit that they have put together.
Press kit
that helped me with my research. Yes.
As a member of the press investigating No Nut November, how useful was the press kit to you?
Extremely useful.
That is
helped me immensely.
Wonderful. I am not gonna visit the Instagram if that's okay.
Oh, we already follow them, my friend.
Oh God, no. Whatever is there, I don't want to see it.
Yes, you do. It's a nice place. There's also a wiki, not a wiki. I mean, there is a Wikipedia page, but there's a dedicated wiki that I also got a lot of my research from.
A No Nut November wiki.
Yes.
Great.
So, between 2017 and 2019, No Nut November steadily spread across the internet, with more and more folks hopping on board. And by folks, I do primarily mean cis men, presumably straight cis men. Again, that's not everyone. They've made it very clear in recent years that this is for everyone. But there is a general community at play here.
Gotcha.
In 2019, the movement gained even more attention when Twitter user @TeapotLad made a now deleted post stating, quote, "Take the pledge that if you jack off during No Nut November, you have to change your avatar to the Coomer. Reply with, I take the pledge."
What's the Coomer?
Give me a second. Even though the original post is now deleted, replies of people saying, I take the pledge are still up. This tweet got 815 retweets and 2,000 likes just over the next 3 days.
Not bad.
To answer your question, again, let me just get through the description and then you can ask your questions. The Coomer is a Wojak-style meme representing...
What's Wojak-style?
Hold your questions. The Coomer is a Wojak-style meme representing... Also, what the fuck? You don't know what Wojak is? You need to get on the internet more, my friend.
I don't think that is a good piece of advice.
The Coomer is a Wojak-style meme representing a person with a chronic masturbation addiction to a grotesque degree. A Wojak is a meme style in which crude, MS Paint line drawings of people are made, and it started with the Feels guy. So, the Feels bad
okay.
man. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's that blonde one. There's the one smoking a cigarette. There's the lady.
Right, the crying one.
Yeah.
With the
enraged face.
Right.
They have since spun out from there, and the Coomer is just one of them. He is bald, with a beard, red eyes, a very creepy smile, and, of course, one arm much larger than the other. So then this pledge went viral.
Oh, internet.
iFunny. It got reposted on iFunny. It got reposted on Instagram meme accounts across various platforms. Probably 100,000 likes or more were generated for this pledge. One Instagrammer @David.Hasselhoff even posted an image on November 1st, 2019, imagining what it would look like if then President Donald Trump took the Coomer pledge and failed. And so, again, we'll post this picture, but there's somebody screenshotted when Donald Trump had a Twitter, and it says, Donald J. Trump with the check mark @real Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States of America, and the profile picture is changed to an image of the Coomer, which would be if he failed November.
Right. I mean, that would be the honorable thing to do.
Very funny. As mentioned, since 2019, the popularity of No Nut November has only steadily grown. In fact, its popularity has made the jump from internet spheres to mainstream news.
Really?
Articles about No Nut November have been written in the New Statesman, in the NZ Herald, Men's Health, Vice, and even Rolling Stone. And
Cult are just weird.
And now Cult are just weird. I mean, even Burger King tweeted about it in 2018, which I'm just like...
Burger King, no!
Burger King.
Bad
Gross.
Burger King.
Just silence brand. Honestly, for the most part, the No Nut November community seems like a fun place to be. Again,
it's pretty funny.
It pretty much started out as satire, it was just somebody being like Urban Dictionary. It's also become a place for primarily cis men, but really anyone who wants to be involved, to be in community and to support each other. And yes, they're supporting each other through a self-imposed quote unquote challenge involving masturbation, but it's become something more than that. An article that Phoebe Loomis wrote for NZ Herald in 2018 really drives home this point. So she keys in on the support group aspect as well as the language that's used. So men share stories with each other, vent about challenges, encourage and support one another, offer advice, offer sympathy. As you can imagine, a lot of folks who take up the challenge find themselves unable to make it through the month. And
how does that happen exactly, Kayla? What?
They break and they jerk off to the point of orgasm.
Oh.
That's how it happens.
Thank you. I wasn't clear on that.
It can get quite emotional for some of these people.
Oh, no.
You know, many of them thank each other, thank their brothers in arms for being on this journey together. One Redditor in 2018 wrote, quote, "Personally, this helped me a lot with dealing with my addiction, and I don't think I could have done that without the support of this community."
Wow, that's nice.
Other Redditors encourage those struggling to make memes or take on other creative activities to take their minds off their urges.
The old, like, Freudian id, or no, not id. What did he call it? That was like the sexual energy. Or actually, he was the one that came up with libido, right?
What?
I think so.
What's libido?
Libido is sexual energy, and if you don't put libido into sex, you put it into other things, and that's why men make, like, buildings and civilizations.
Oh,
and
right,
stuff.
because women don't do that. I forgot.
I'm pretty sure that came from Freud, which is like...
Which means it's wrong.
Well, A, which means it's wrong, and B, which means that there's, like, a historical, contextual underpinning to some of this stuff, particularly when we get to NoFap.
Well, I saw one Redditor post pictures of kittens he adopted this November to take his mind off netting.
Awesome.
Many of these guys do find themselves focusing on other things, so like creative activities, self-improvement activities, acts of service, hobbies, in order to make it through those 30 days, which is it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That is cool. Acts of service. They volunteer to hold up towels while supermodels shower off.
So nice. You are a nut dissenter. Stop.
Oh, sorry.
Also, again, I will remind everyone, we are in the middle of No Nut November, so respect to your brothers in arms.
Right, okay, so that I agree with that. But also, like, Kayla, what if I want to participate now? I'm going to have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
Or the middle of November.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Also, because it's a super active Reddit, there are a lot of posts in a day. Most are memes. Most are funny as hell. Like, honestly, again, like the website, I encourage our listeners to go take a stroll through the community because you will absolutely find yourself entertained. It's just, it's funny people. Funny people. Another fun quirk of the subreddit and the community at large is the style of language that's often used. So No Nut Novemberers have adopted military-style language, heightening it, stylizing it, humorizing it. So, like, the word comrades or comrades is thrown around. Enemies are closing in are often spoken of, and that's like, a metaphor for the urge to masturbate becoming stronger and stronger. There's fallen soldiers, there's commands from leaders bringing home victory, speaking of war, it's all in there. And
it's very, like, masculine, sort of, like, fantasy oriented. I dig it.
But, like,
you know what else that is?
Repurposing it towards something that's not shitty and toxic, and it's like bringing guys together to like chat and have fun. I love it.
Yeah. I smell ritual.
Oh, ritual abounds, my guy. Like, I don't know. I love it when communities like this spring up and then just take on whole lives of their own and become this like microcosm of a mini culture. It's just
it's those moments when I actually like the internet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No Nut November makes me love the internet. This episode made me happy. And the whole troll.
Not too happy though, because you don't want to lose.
Don't worry, there will be a bucket of cold water in a little bit. The whole troll, not a troll thing that we've talked about so often, it is no better exemplified in this community, I think, because, okay, again, it started as a joke, making its way through meme culture sites like Urban Dictionary, 4chan, and Reddit. Some guys set out to do No Nut November because it's funny, and others actually viewed it as a way to curb an addictive relationship with porn, a masturbation habit they want to change, or an opportunity to emerge from self-imposed abstinence a different person.
Interesting.
The group's description says, quote, "Some do it just for the memes, while others do it for actual self-improvement." So it is literally simultaneously a troll and not a troll.
At the same time,
at the
like
same
intentionally.
Time. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mwah, chef's kiss.
Yes.
That is internet.
Yes. So we've talked about the troll. Let's talk about not a troll. There are little literal beliefs about self-improvement and other benefits that can be gleaned from undertaking No Nut November. Zachary Zane dove into this in a 2019 Men's Health article. At one point, he talks about a Redditor who boasted about going 2 months without jerking off and then made these claims. Quote, "I'm a different man. I'm far more confident. I'm kinder, smarter, and stronger in every aspect. This thing, it's given me a clarity in my life. When shit needs to be done, I do it. I'm working out, I'm studying, I've massively increased my social circle. I went from a loser who couldn't get a date to actively going on dates. Why? Because I've learned to say no to myself and others. I've learned to decide, not just think about what I want and what I'll stand for." So there's a sense that for some guys, taking a break from these, quote unquote base urges, like you said, redirects energy and focus to other areas of life that could maybe use some improvement. There are also guys that truly feel that they have an unhealthy relationship with porn or with masturbation, and No Nut November is kind of like a cold turkey jumpstart to changing that relationship or that habit. There's even a very lengthy section on the No Nut November website dedicated to helping someone struggling with porn addiction, and it goes into the ways that porn might be affecting users' brains, or affecting the ways that users think or feel about women, or affecting the ways that users treat their bodies. I won't say that there's scientific backing to those things, but it's, the belief in that is present.
Right. I mean, I kind of get that. Like there does feel like, and again, this is just feel to me, not like you said science, but it does feel like there's some potentially useful aspect of, having some sort of like external trigger to cold turkey, something that you are, feel like you have an addictive relationship with or a dependency on. And it also does feel like there's, training your brain to abstain from things, right? Like training your brain to, like, I feel like that is maybe working the like intentionality muscle. And that might be why like people like this gentleman that you just told me about, feels like they can do like they have, like, why would their social circle expand like that? That's, we say it's energy redirection, but it might just be that aspect of like, sure, now that I have trained my brain to like abstain from this thing that I find like base pleasurable, maybe that also gives my brain muscle more wherewithal to
do some other things
that require like, some discipline.
Right. Yeah, so that's the brain piece of it. There are also some folks who worry that their excessive masturbation habit has left them with something called death grip syndrome.
Is that real?
It's a slang term. It was probably originated by a sex advice columnist and semi-problematic podcaster who I love reading his advice columns, but say what you will, Dan Savage. And the term refers to the effects of excessive or too intense masturbation. The idea is that some people with penises become too accustomed to the sensations of like a strong grip during masturbation, and that desensitizes their penis, and then they then have difficulty achieving orgasm in other ways or with a partner. And this is referred to as dead vagina syndrome in women.
I feel like I've read this in like a NoFap or in a No Nut November thing of like, yeah, you'll start finding like partner sex more pleasurable because you won't be so accustomed to like the solo act.
I mean, this condition is not recognized by any mainstream medical institutions or authorities, and difficulty ejaculating is generally thought to be related to medical conditions like diabetes or various medications or low testosterone or other hormonal differences or mental health issues like anxiety and depression. But I don't want to take away anyone's lived experience. Like, if folks undertaking No Nut November have felt that it ultimately improves their sex lives or changes distressing habits, then more power to them. Like, all in all, this seems to be a pretty fun, pretty harmless community of folks undertaking an annual challenge of will, and I personally hope it continues.
Yeah, it sounds more or less positive to me.
As per usual on this show.
All right, lay it on me.
Rarely is anything that presents as sunshine and roses ever just that.
Could it be just sunshine or just roses?
No. We would be remiss if we were to do an episode on No Nut November and not dive into the more extreme but relative community of NoFap.
What does relative mean?
Like relative, it's a relative of No Nut November.
Oh.
Related.
Like sister community.
Yeah, but I was trying to be gender neutral.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, big person over here. So first, a little history. And again, we're pulling from our great minds over at Know Your Meme, as well as Wikipedia and a handful of articles. So let's start with some precursors. In March 2003, 3 Chinese university researchers published the following paper: A research of the relationship between ejaculation and serum testosterone level in men. After engaging in a study with 28 volunteers, the researchers concluded that after 7 days of abstinence, testosterone levels reached 145.7% of the baseline. 3 years later, on October 30th, 2006, it gets weird here, you guys, and I love it. A user...
It was already pretty weird.
No. A user going by Asinine posted on the North American Subaru Impreza...
Did you just have a stroke?
No. A user going by the name Asinine posted on the North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club forums. Owners Club forums.
What the fuck?
Yes, that's a real thing.
No.
Yes, North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club forums.
Okay, just tell me.
Asinine's post reads as follows. It was obviously in the off-topic section.
Well, at least you had that much sense.
I hereby declare that on this day, October 30th, 2006, the first official off-topic Master of Your Domain Iron Man competition shall commence.
Oh my god, Master of Your Domain. This
a
whole thing is a Seinfeld reference. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
This whole episode.
The whole thing. Literally, there was an article, I forget which article it was that I read, but all of the pictures in it were just screenshots from the contest episode of Seinfeld in which the 4 main characters enter into a no masturbation contest.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. And Kramer comes out. I'm out.
Yeah, he was out very quickly. Whereby we see who can go the longest without pornography or self-abuse of any sort. That means no naked girly pics or nothing. Sports Illustrated swimsuit, etc. are fine. Starting at noon today, i.e.
That's very gray area.
Now, persons in sexually active relationships, monogamous or otherwise, married persons, and persons who engage in sexual activity get 1 point for every 6 hours they go without porn or fap.
And again, just to be clear, this is on the
North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club forums.
Okay, I don't have anything. I don't even know what to say.
I'm continuing the quote. Persons who abstain entirely from any sort of sexual activity get 2 points for every 6 hours. In short, sex with another person is okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Only self-abuse and the viewing of pornography is forbidden. That is why people in sexually active relationships get fewer points for holding out. Only persons aged 18 plus may participate.
That's a good... Yeah.
This next sentence makes me uncomfortable.
Just now?
I'm gonna read it. It makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not really sure what it means.
Oh God.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
Should we say it? What is it?
The timing may be dangerous. What with all the little kids running door to door tomorrow night, but I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if it's like a pedophile reference.
I don't know.
I'm just quoting, guys. I hereby throw my hat in the ring. Who else is going to play along? And then there was a list of signups.
A list of signups from other, presumably North American
Subaru
owners.
Subaru Impreza owners.
Subaru Impreza owners. Okay. All right.
It's rumored that...
Just like, if we ever get a used car, let's make sure that it's not a Subaru Impreza.
Why? It would be free of jism.
I don't think that it would.
You could be
I think it would be very sticky inside, and I don't...
It's rumored that 3 years later, in August of 2009, a challenge was made to the B board on 4chan. B is like the random board. That's where Cicada started, I think. Or no, Cicada might have started in...
I thought you said it was in Poll earlier this episode.
I was talking about 4chan in general. That's where Cicada started. I don't remember if it started in the Supernatural, if it started in X or B, whatever. B is the random board. It's one of the worst. So supposedly a challenge was made inviting prospective contestants to join together to see who could forego masturbation for the month of September. This may also be where No Nut November had its origins, but like there are slight differences between NoFap September, which is its own thing kind of at this point.
Oh, really?
NoFap September and No Nut November. So fap means masturbate. So NoFap September equals no masturbation, but partnered sex is cool. No Nut November means no orgasms at all.
Okay.
And this shared origin is kind of where these two like communities diverge and only kind of meet again. We'll get to that. No original thread dating from August 2009 has been found archived on 4chan, but there have been no NoFap September posts since. I didn't know
that NoFap had its own month. Like I just thought it was like a community in general.
It is. This is part of
their thing.
Origins, yeah.
It's like one of their religion's holidays, basically. It's a holiday month for NoFap.
No, I don't want to say that NoFap September is necessarily part and parcel to the NoFap lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
I do think
so it's
they're
not
different
like
things.
A masturbatory advent.
This is a challenge, and NoFap is a lifestyle. Does that make sense?
I see. Okay.
I'm not saying they're unrelated, but they're not the same thing.
Okay.
This idea of NoFap September took hold elsewhere on the internet on August 28th, 2009. A member posted the challenge on something called Cheat Engine forums.
That feels somehow more appropriate than
Sure,
Impreza
I don't know
owners.
what it is. The next day, a YouTuber called Almighty Devon posted an instructional video on how to participate in the challenge on his channel.
Why do you need instructions for that?
Because you need rules.
Okay.
2 days later, on Club RSX forum, a user posted about the challenge, inviting others to join.
What's Club RSX?
Don't know. Then a user on Mustang World forums did the same over there. And man, am I nostalgic for the old internet right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, forums.
I know. And Mustang, is that Mustang owners? Is
Yeah.
this like car?
Cars.
What the hell?
I don't know. On September 1st, 2009, an Urban Dictionary definition for NoFap September was submitted by user StufuBuddy. So.
Okay. That predates No Nut November.
It does. The next year, NoFap September made the rounds again on some of these forums, this time including the fucking Holy Grail, Our Lord and Savior, the Bodybuilding Forum, the true treasure of the internet.
God bless.
A user named Squeaks posted about the event's arrival and said, quote, "Who's doing it? Only 2 days in and I'm horny as fuck, humping everything I lay on."
2 days?
Yeah, he was very horny. And then, less than a year later, on June 20th, 2011, a user created r/nofap on Reddit. And man, things kind of went downhill.
The world has never been the same.
The subreddit was created by Alexander Rhodes, a Pittsburgh-based web developer who read that 2003 Chinese study we cited earlier and was potentially influenced by the prevalence of NoFap challenges across the internet. The subreddit's
Was
about...
he an Impreza owner?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though. I can't say. The subreddit's about forum reads, quote, "A porn addiction and compulsive sexual behavior recovery peer support forum. We host rebooting challenges in which participants, fapstronauts, abstain, or femstronauts if you're a woman, abstain from pornography and masturbation for a period of time." So that's where it's like NoFap September is part of it, but they're not necessarily the same thing.
Gotcha.
Whether your goal is casual participation in a monthly challenge as a test of self-control, or whether excessive masturbation or pornography has become a problem in your life and you want to quit for a longer period of time, you will find a supportive community and plenty of resources here. Rhodes also created an off-Reddit website, nofap.com, to support the quickly growing community. So this subreddit, their population tripled in, I wrote down 3 years, but I want to say it was 2.
Holy shit.
I think it was 2 years.
What's their current population?
So as of right now, there are 899,000 Redditors on r/nofap. I don't know how many users the website has.
That's a lot.
But yeah, the website was there because Rhodes was like, oh, there's clearly an audience for this. Let's serve them better.
Right.
Like No Nut November, the community is largely cis men looking to emotionally support and encourage each other through self-imposed abstinence. But NoFap is focused on an extended or lifelong commitment to foregoing porn and masturbation.
Interesting.
And they also generally are not abstaining from sex.
I was going to ask. Okay,
sex.
so partnered sex is fine.
NoFap members refer to their unwanted behaviors as addictions or compulsions and share tips and tricks for how to move through life in this new way, how to get back on the horse when you fall off, how to celebrate wins or the various ways in which your life has improved since going NoFap. Some members may also go NoFap for religious reasons, self-improvement reasons, or again supposed physical health reasons, which we'll get a little bit more into later.
Yeah, I've been served NoFap like YouTube videos, for example.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, actually I remember looking at the title didn't even really give it away. It was just like, here's a thing you can do to like make your life infinitely better, and like a moron I clicked on the clickbait.
I will say now that
it ended up being NoFap.
That's the YouTube algorithm pushing you towards the alt-right.
Yeah, well, that's what is there. Yeah, I mean,
that's what it is.
That's what it does.
Yeah, and it's like, why is NoFap alt-right? I will tell you. On May 16th, 2012, a TED Talk was shared on TED Talk YouTube of a lecture from a man named Gary Wilson. The talk is called The Great Porn Experiment. As you can imagine, the talk highlights alleged dangers of porn, particularly for male users, and r/nofap is explicitly referenced. The video currently has over 14 million views. Gary Wilson has also written a book titled Your Brain on Porn.
This is why you can't trust every TED. This is why TED Talks are a real mixed bag.
I like how you are assuming that Gary Wilson is a bad faith actor or underinformed. because I haven't said anything that would say that.
Picked up on it. Listen, Kayla, remember when we were talking about the like predict the future red flag ability that we all have now?
Yeah. So Gary Wilson wrote that book. His website is also called Your Brain on Porn. He has been described as an anti-porn activist or an anti-porn blogger. Apparently, he was once an adjunct professor at Southern Oregon University that taught like anatomy or physiology and has participated in at least one like research paper that got published. Otherwise, his credentials are pretty iffy. Like, he does not, as far as I can tell, please correct me if I'm wrong, he does not hold any sort of like official credentials, academic or otherwise, that indicate his authority on the subject of porn and its effects. So this is kind of coming from, I guess, his hands-on, quote-unquote, participation or understanding. It's not necessarily scientifically based. The NoFap community, however, is very largely influenced by his teachings. Mm-hmm. He doesn't hold a college degree.
So is he the charismatic leader?
Not for No November.
Oh.
Maybe for NoFap, but I'm not doing an episode on them because they make me upset. We're just talking about them here in depth. We're just talking about them on the episode. The paper, one of the papers, I think, is the only one that I could find, but he might have written more like scientific papers. That paper underwent retractions and corrections. And there's also like a whole world here where Gary Wilson is in heated like conflicts with pro-sex or just sex researchers and educators, and like it gets weird and personal. And like I think the Wikipedia says that like NoFap and Gary Wilson have had a chilling effect on free speech because they tend to like get really vocal and like harassy of academics and researchers that like come out against their stance. So it's like a weird whole thing. I can't get into it. Off. Stop it. Just know that there's more to this iceberg.
Yeah.
I can't. I was gonna try to move on, but I've got to say one more thing. I do need you to know that Gary Wilson has been accused of peddling pseudoscience. Like that accusation has been levied against him. And
that he reeks of that.
This is not an accusation. This is real. He and his wife were instructors of a sexual technique known as coitus reservatus, in which the goal is to avoid ejaculation during sex.
Isn't that just edging?
And the two were known to strongly dislike the idea of orgasm on principle, claiming that orgasms can harm romantic relationships.
What?
So he's not somebody that I'm necessarily going to base thoughts, feelings, beliefs, opinions on.
No, he's squarely outside my trust network.
Okay.
He didn't even peek inside.
Back to NoFap. An internal survey on the subreddit in 2014 found that 99% of NoFap followers were male.
99?
Yes. The survey also found that members held spiritual beliefs ranging from atheism, like the founder Alex Rhodes, to fundamental Christianity, and actually does have a marginal presence of female participants, or other.
So diverse.
The group has solicited and received funding from religious groups, presumably due to the alignment on the belief that masturbation is unhealthy.
Right. That does feel like like when you say alt-right, I mean, it doesn't, like the purity, like the bodily purity, religious aspect of it makes that seem totally plausible. But anyway.
But it's like packaged in this like male testosterone.
Right.
Thing.
It's like
it's purity culture. We're like, there's been purity culture surrounding women for so long of like being pure and like a flower, and it's like delicate and dainty, and this is purity culture that's packaged in like testosterone.
It is packaged in testosterone, but I mean, there's been purity culture from a religious aspect has existed for men too. Like, the Catholic Church doesn't want you to quote unquote spill your seed. Like, you're not supposed to masturbate.
Don't say that.
So I mean, that's
gross. We'll talk about the Catholic Church in a minute.
Oh, goody.
Actually, in a little bit. Unfortunately, while users generally claim to be science-based, the science does not support their claims. We will get to the physical claims in a bit, but for now, let's just focus on what research and I think some of our spidey sense says about the health and safety of participating in r/NoFap.
Okay.
A study published in the Archive of Sexual Behavior in 2021 titled Exploring the Ideological Pathways of Problematic Pornography Use in NoFap/Porn-Free Rebooting Communities, a critical narrative analysis of internet forum data.
Very technical.
So this study found that the view of porn and the goal of total abstinence from it may actually be harmful.
Okay. In what way?
Quote, commitment to abstinence, framed by the notions of recovery and relapse, was found to be a major factor for maintaining distress. So folks who are feeling distressed by their relationship to porn and masturbation may actually become more distressed by engaging in this community.
In the narrative that it's an addiction?
In this particular approach to it as an addiction.
Okay. Because then I was going to ask, like, is porn addiction not a real phenomenon, or is it just the way that the NoFap community engages with it that makes it
the latter
more distressing?
The latter.
Okay, so there is such thing as porn addiction.
I don't want to. I'm not an authority. I can't say yes, porn addiction is a real thing. No, it's not. I think from my very layperson understanding of it, I think there is still some. I think there's still some conversation around that. Right. As somebody who is marginally informed on addiction issues, I believe that somebody can develop an addictive relationship with almost anything, and that addiction is more a process in the brain. That does mean that there is some differences in like what addiction means, because there are some people that are like, no, addiction is a substance, is a relationship with a substance that creates a chemical process in the brain, versus like, I'm addicted to yogurt. I don't know.
I hope don't get addicted to yogurt. Actually, there probably are people who are addicted to yogurt. Call them yogurt halls.
Get out of here.
Wait, no,
yogurtholics. Yogurtholics.
Yogurtholics.
I do love yogurt. A different study published in 2021 called The Battle for NoFap, Myths, Masculinity, and the Meaning of Masturbation Abstention stated...
love that alliteration, baby.
I know. Quote, the mythical articulations that emerge from contestations over concepts like NoFap have the potential to galvanize young men into horrific real-world violence.
Whoa! What?
And basically lead some men to feel like victims that in turn embrace misogyny and racism. There is a very clear funnel, and we're going to talk about it. There is a very clear funnel from NoFap into extreme beliefs and ideologies.
What the hell?
I know. A 2020 study called Abstinence from Masturbation and Hypersexuality found that folks subscribing to NoFap ideology reported, quote, lower trust in science, and often turned to the forum as a primary source of medical information, potentially discouraging users from seeking real medical intervention and building a distrusting relationship with medical authority.
So is NoFap also Novax?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who are Novax because of their relationship to NoFap.
Right, of the sort of like anti or lack of rigorous science, and also the proclivity towards like bodily purity.
And that's just speculation. I don't actually know. Other researchers have posited that NoFap reinforces destructive ideas about masculinity and femininity and the relationship between genders. So it kind of goes back to this very rigid idea of men are dominant seekers of pleasure and women are natural suppliers of said pleasure.
Right.
And these kind of like chinks in the armor, quote unquote, these like areas that might be weaknesses in the community have actually led the group to be targeted by the far right. So far right has gone, ooh, look, we can get in here.
Right.
And so extreme far right ideology and toxic like men's rights, red-pilled groups have gotten embedded and mixed up in the NoFap community. And unfortunately, it has become a hotbed for things like anti-Semitism. The belief that porn has been unleashed by Jews as a purposefully addictive thing for white men.
Holy shit.
But that's like, I had no idea that was...
I didn't either.
Obviously, anti-Semitism is insidious and sneaks in many ways, but I had no idea that there were groups of people that were like, the Jews are responsible for porn, for addictive porn.
Wow, they really will blame the Jews for just about anything.
Just about anything. The community has also become a hotbed for sexism, so NoFap supporters will often viciously target female researchers who do not support their conclusions and ideology. NoFap supporters often fall into similar rhetoric that figures such as Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys espouse, so masturbation emasculates or demasculinizes men, and men should avoid it and only seek out partnered sex with women. Abstaining from masturbation will ultimately make a man more successful in dating because he will focus on getting girls again. Women are thus objects to be acquired. Women who are sexually provocative are an enemy, etc.
Right.
It also, of course, it dips its toes into homophobia and the like, and things like, don't be a bitch, that kind of thing. Like a less chill, fun atmosphere than what we've seen on like No Nut November.
Right.
A little more hardcore and a little more like funneled towards very rigid views about what it means to be a masculine man and what it means to be a woman.
Right.
And
versus No Nut November seems more just like a supportive community doing like a troll, not a troll, funny thing that is time delimited.
Journalist Sarah Manavis wrote for the New Statesman in 2018, quote, "The NoFap community has become linked to wider sexism and misogyny, reducing women to sexual objects to be attained or abstained from, and shaming sexually active women. Further studies found that NoFap Redditors were also likely to be members of the Red Pill, which is has become a far-right affiliated emblem of toxic masculinity on Reddit.
Right.
They were also more likely to be supporters of Donald Trump. And Der Spiegel, a German magazine, connected some NoFap members to groups that have been involved in hate crimes and terrorist murders. So that's where we talk about like the Proud Boys and Rise Against Movement and those other things.
Just in case, I know the longtime listeners probably will be familiar with a lot of these terms, but Proud Boys, you just mentioned, what was it, Rise Above? No,
Rise Against Movement.
Excuse me, Rise Against. Those are both far-right groups that, you know, sort of have like a fascist bent. And then you mentioned red pilling. Again, longtime listeners probably know what that means, but for those of you that don't, red pilling is just sort of like this blanket term that has unfortunately come to mean this blanket term of getting somebody radicalized. It basically means radicalizing somebody into this world of alt-right, which has like a bunch of different things at the buffet table that you can pick and choose from, as tends to be the case with these things.
Right.
So, you know, maybe a little bit of anti-Semitism over here and some anti-vax over here, and but being red-pilled is the entryway into that. It's the like, hey, this is fine. This is just like a little bit of healthy, you know, abstinence that we're doing over here, and that's. So red pilling is like that sort of like onboarding process that then turns into anti-vax and anti-Semitism and all that stuff.
Correct. So it's no bueno.
I should have known that we would eventually find our way into anti-Semitism, because that's always how it happens.
It's a part of it. Rolling Stone and Vice also read about these alt-right connections and posited that the ethos infecting NoFap has also begun to seep over into the No Nut November.
No.
I'll link both of those articles. Rolling Stone said that far-right figures were embracing and publicizing the challenge. So I think like Paul Joseph Watson was talking about it. He's an alt-right provocateur. And Vice claimed that followers were engaging in NoFap influence tactics of online harassment by sending threats to porn site xHamster. These voices...
They're sending threats to a porn website?
These voices dissenting against NoFap basically state that ideas, rhetorics, norms, memes, talking points, etc. coming from the manosphere, more on that in a second, can be harmful to the men who adopt them and the people around them. The manosphere is a term. It's an unofficial label for a number of blogs, sites, forums, and figures that strongly oppose feminism and promote a form of masculinity that is synonymous with misogyny. So we're talking incels, pickup artists, MGTOW, which is men going their own way, which are men that quote-unquote voluntarily step away from having any sort of relationships, romantic or otherwise, with women, and more. I will link to the Wikipedia about it because, again, it is too much to go into here, but it gets bad.
And nary a Chad in sight.
Lest anyone think we on the podcast don't believe men deserve rights. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but like that could not be further from the truth. We firmly support men's rights issues on this show, but not the issues that alt-rights extremists want people to believe are tearing our country apart. So we support the rights of men to be in community with each other, to have access to proper mental health care, the rights of men to express emotions.
We believe that the patriarchy hurts men just as much as it hurts women sometimes.
Everybody.
It hurts everyone.
We support every effort to reduce the high suicide rate among men, the higher rates of violent crime towards men, the social rights of gay, queer, and trans men to live liberated lives, and, of course, the rights of chill bros to talk about not jerking off during November in a chill, safe, and sane way. That is the stance of this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like we should put that as our Twitter profile now.
The No Nut November community...
Well, I just want to say, before we move on, it's good to clarify that, because men's rights activists, like, which if you talk about that as like a, you know, capital letters group,
right,
their beliefs are not those beliefs.
Right.
Like there's probably some overlap there, but the problem with men's rights activists is that they have a lot of like alt-right stuff going on, a lot of misogyny,
It's a
lot of
reaction.
like toxic masculinity that is not what we were just saying.
Right.
So that's why we felt like we had to clarify there, because like, you know, they sort of took that name
Right.
that sounds nice,
Right.
but isn't.
It's a reaction to the rise of feminism and the rise of minority and marginalized groups that have threatened the status quo and make people who are straight, cis, white men feel like they are being oppressed when really it's that others are achieving some semblance of liberation. And yeah, unfortunately, men's rights activist groups, like you said, aren't focusing necessarily on the ways that will materially improve men's lives and liberate men, but instead are falling into these
Like preserving
toxic
the status quo that is changing.
things. Yeah. The No Nut November community actually responded to the tide of extremism rolling in and adjusted to make it clear that that kind of rhetoric was unwelcome in the community. So the phrase brothers in arms was removed from their banner, making it clear that all people were welcome in the challenge and in the community. New rules were imposed, making it clear that any Redditor engaging in discriminatory or offensive behavior would be banned from the sub. A rule book was published this year with the goal of preventing people from feeling forced or coerced to engage in the challenge, or like they have to in order to be like, you know, a real man. And in recent
I
years,
like all these rules.
the community has even used No Nut November as an opportunity to fundraise for charity, such as for prostate cancer prevention, prostate cancer treatment and awareness, and I think this year it's for like preservation of our oceans.
That's good, because at the end of No Nut November,
It's Destroy Dick December.
it's this. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Or did you just make that up?
No, that's a real thing.
Is that just okay? Well, I was gonna say that we need somewhere for all that jism to go, so you better protect the oceans.
From their press kit, quote, while the community has mostly revolved around the yearly internet challenge, it has recently branched out to serve as a support subreddit to help members with their lives and personal issues while continuing to remain centered around No Nut November. So while the alt-right tries to ruin everything it touches, it seems like they couldn't really get their hooks in here, so haha.
Good. Fuck them.
Fuck them. Okay, we are nearing the end here, and you may be wondering, okay, but like, does it work?
Well, I'm wondering that. And I'm also wondering, I don't know if you have any stats for me, but like, is there a percentage completion rate out there anywhere? Like,
Oh, I don't have those numbers.
15% of all people who start No Nut November complete it.
I don't have those numbers, but it seems like it's a pretty severe drop-off rate.
Okay. All right. I searched here off podcasts for a few minutes, and I went pretty deep in the Google search results, and
You're not supposed to go deep during No Nut November.
Well, I went very deep, and I was actually unable to come to a conclusion, a climax, if you will, of data. There doesn't seem to be at least as deep as I went. And if anybody out there can go deeper, please do, and please share your findings, because I couldn't find a success rate. I couldn't find 30% of all people who attempt No Nut November get to the end of November. I have no idea.
Okay, No Nut November, we need these stats from you ASAP. If anyone from the Reddit is listening. But okay, back to does it work? Does abstaining from masturbation or ejaculation from a period of time improve your health or life? Well, all signs point to not really, or at least to we don't think so, but we don't know. So far, our best science tells us that regular masturbation for men may actually help protect against prostate cancer, and it also increases fertility.
Oh, good. Are neutral.
All right.
No, that's may or maybe not good.
There's not actual scientific evidence that death grip syndrome exists, or that you can masturbate too much outside of, extreme edge cases. Extreme cases in which masturbation causes physical trauma, like, raw skin, or interferes with your daily life. Obviously, that is a very real issue for some people. Folks like Gary Wilson and his followers promote pseudoscience with their anti-porn and masturbation claims. Men's Health quoted a doctor named Christopher Karuba as saying, quote, "To date, there has been no research that I could find documenting any psychological benefit to semen retention. As such, any reported benefits are purely anecdotal and could also be the result of a placebo effect."
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why I mentioned before, like, it doesn't feel like there's anything physical that could be going on here, but like maybe there's some sort of like like I said, mental discipline training of like
exercising your brain.
If I've exercised my brain's ability to like refrain from doing something enjoyable, pleasurable, then maybe that will benefit me in doing some sort of like discipline oriented thing somewhere else.
I think that can get, the intent behind that is very important, because it's like any other thing. If you approach, like, if you say, I'm going to give up eating chocolate. I love chocolate. I'm going to give it up for 30 days. Mm-hmm. If you say, I'm going to give it up for 30 days because I want to see if I can do it, and I want to like exercise that willpower and train that muscle, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you go like, I'm going to not do it for 30 days because I want to lose weight, or I shouldn't eat it, or it's
chocolate
like
it's sinful.
Yeah, if you come at it with that approach, that
so basically,
to me
as
feels
long
damaging.
as you don't say it in that voice, it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you don't whine like me.
As you don't do it like this, then you should be
then you're A-okay. Known sex educator and neuroscientist, one who often butts heads with the NoFap community and Gary Wilson, named Nicole Prouse, has said, quote, I think No Nut November is largely anti-science, and that there are 0 random assignment clinical trials supporting abstinence as part of a treatment for compulsive sexual behaviors. She also says that ejaculation may improve memory, support your sleep, and support other health markers. So, and again, when she says anti-science, that doesn't necessarily mean like it's bad or wrong. It's just there is not scientific evidence backing this up that we have.
Right.
So, yeah, sorry, our No Nut November friends. Scientific backing, as far as I have found, is not necessarily on your side. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't do it. So from that Men's Health article, Dr. Karuba says...
And when we say do it, we mean don't do it.
Don't do it. At least not in November. Dr. Karuba says, quote, there are really no significant risks associated with semen retention. As such, my stance would be that if you think there's a benefit, then have at it. And I'm inclined to agree. If you feel like you are getting something from it, and it's not coming from a negative place, and it's not making you feel bad, it's only making you feel good, or increasing your sense of community, or increasing your sense of pride, or whatever.
Keeping an eye out for alt-right recruiters at your doorstep.
Avoiding that, swerving them whenever you can.
Wait, so there's no... So in other words, like... If I do No Nut November, I'm not going to like be at risk for like my balls getting super huge and exploding.
I mean, if that happened, it'd be pretty cool.
Well, you just said the science doesn't support that. So.
As far as I'm aware, so the benefits to masturbation that we talked about, protecting you from potentially protecting you from prostate cancer, potentially increasing or supporting your fertility, in turn, the negative effects, like the semen retention effects on those, a month of that's not going to affect those things.
Okay.
It's like, a year or longer. Like if you never do it, or if you retain too long, but that might affect your fertility. Eventually, that might affect your prostate cancer, and your balls might explode.
Okay. I can't believe I'm like putting this out there, and I can't believe
that's why I told our moms to not listen.
I know, but I don't even like want our audience to listen. Like I feel I'm so embarrassed.
Funny. I love it.
It's like these like random people on the internet are going to be listening to me talk about exploding balls and jizz. Living the dream, I guess.
Podcast. If people, especially men, gain a sense of community, accomplishment, have fun, improve their relationship with themselves and others, and feel better about their habits, like, do it. I can't say not to do it. Rah.
Go men.
I think let the No Nut Novemberers do what they will. They are not hurting anyone, including themselves, and the memes are really good.
And I would participate, for the podcast, for the lulz.
Next year.
I guess I'll have to do it next year now, but...
We can do a contest. Okay, one more thing. Let's look at the See Also section on the No Nut November Wikipedia page, and it goes... Boy. Masturbation, masturbate-a-thon, Movember, National Masturbation Day.
Wait, why is Movember on there?
Because it's another male-oriented November challenge.
It's just people with those mustaches are just like way too sexy, and you can't look at them if you're doing... Yeah.
Wank Week, the contest.
Yeah, okay.
And then Lent and Ramadan.
Yeah, naturally.
Lent, Ramadan, like those are pages Wikipedia editors think share some similarities to No Nut November. They do. They're not wrong. Like semen retention or coitus reservatus, as we mentioned earlier, has actually been around as an idea and a religious practice for much, much longer than NoFap or No Nut has. Taoist sexual practices included semen retention and male control of ejaculation from as far back as like the Han Dynasty. So we're talking like 200 BC to 200 CE. It was believed that vital life force, or qi, was heavily present in bodily fluids, particularly semen, and that ejaculation could lead to loss of that qi.
I mean, they're much more... I forgive them a lot more for the anti-science because they didn't know about how, like, the human body worked. And so they had, like, that humors sort of theory going on.
Well, we're also talking... I don't know what modern-day Taoist belief is on this, so I'm talking in past tense. I don't want to say that Taoists don't currently exist. I don't know what the modern-day belief is on sexual practices and semen retention.
And my knowledge about, like, humors theory is very Western-oriented. I'm actually not sure what Eastern... like Chinese and adjacent civilizations. I'm not sure what their medical beliefs were at the time.
Well, this we can talk about because it's literally they thought, oh, the qi is in your bodily fluids.
Okay.
The qi is in your, and it's largely in your semen. So your life force is in your bodily fluids. You want to retain the bodily fluids.
That makes sense.
Semen especially you want to retain.
Right, because you could make a whole new person with it.
Yeah. Some Taoists believed in total abstinence from ejaculation. Some believed in a limited amount. Again, we're talking past tense because I don't know what modern day beliefs exist. Men were encouraged to disrupt sex when nearing ejaculation. So, cunnilingus was treated as an ideal sexual activity between male and female partners to prevent the loss of bodily liquids. Yeah.
Good job. Very, very modern, gender equality there. I like it.
Those beliefs were heavily espoused by the Way of the Five Pecks of Rice, or the Way of the Celestial Masters, a Chinese Taoist movement founded in 142 CE. What?
Celestial Masters.
Get out of here.
Were they masters of the domain?
I'm going to kill you. Tantric sex, the Hindu and Buddhist spiritual practices of sexual activity, also includes the practice of semen retention, and Tantra dates back to like at least the first millennium CE. Mm-hmm. Coitus reservatus has also been endorsed in some special circumstances by the Catholic Church throughout history as a form of...
Go Catholics!
It's also been supported as a form of birth control and method to support equality and intimacy in marriages by a famous OBGYN in the 1800s named Alice Stockham.
Look, if there's something that's pleasurable that involves, especially that involves like sex, the Catholic Church, you can count on them. They will come out against it.
And sex magic practitioners also have...
sex magic?
Yeah, we too much for this episode. Sex magic practitioners have included semen retention in their practices, from the 1800s on to today.
So is that like if I have sex, I can like cast a fireball from that?
Yes. No.
Oh.
No, sex magic is just, it's
Lightning
utilizing
bolt?
your sex energy to create various kinds of magic.
Gotcha.
So there's deep history here, and if we are going to compare No Nut November to something like Lent, which again is, I'm giving up something in order to feel a different way, or
it's a self-denial,
right.
like discipline sort of oriented thing, which is, I mean, that's not even just Lent, as you mentioned, it's Ramadan,
right.
That's like
other kind of Christian fasting,
that's like, that's
or like the symbolism of Taoist belief in that, like, denying my body of these things is preserving my energy. Like, maybe we can say that the practice of No Nut November does have some benefit. Like, it's had spiritual benefit for large groups of people for many, many years. So, like, anecdotal or no, the placebo effect is still in effect. And if undertaken with good intent, sounds like abstinence challenges can be fun, can be fulfilling. I am down with No Nut November, and I wish a swift rest of the month for anyone who might be participating.
Well, I mean, given what you said about like that historical context, it definitely feels like this is, I can't comment on the science of it, but it certainly feels like this is just the modern incarnation, like the internet incarnation of a innate human, I don't want to say desire because it's kind of the opposite of that, but like
it is the desire for the
the desire to
abstention,
self-deny.
Yeah.
There's like this common thread of abstinence across cultures, across religions, across different, across time. And this just seems like it's this is like the internet version of that.
Right.
Which is that's really interesting.
It is really interesting.
Well, thank you for taking me on that journey, Kayla.
You're welcome. Are we ready to judge?
Yeah, let's hurry up because I got to go improve my memory after this.
So, charismatic leader.
I think there's definitely a charismatic leader for NoFap.
Yeah.
For No Nut November, though, I don't know. Like,
there's the guy who created the subreddit.
Yeah, there's the
moderators.
But I mean, if our criteria is it's usually when we talk about charismatic leader criteria, it's got to be like either one or a few people that are very involved with the creation of the group and or the ongoing, like
right.
Like it would be easy to name them, and we can point to instances where like, you know, they've kept the thing together and they have. So I'd say low is
this feels emergent as opposed to like constructed.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's emergent, not top down.
Expected harm.
I mean, you said that the balls don't explode, so low?
I think it's medium to low because I think that currently in the climate of our country, I do think, or even in our world, I do think there's still potential for No Nut November to funnel people to
there's the red pill
more
adjacency.
extreme rhetoric, which is damaging to people who adopt that belief and the people around them. So I think expected harm is low.
Thing is, it's like low unless you find yourself slipping down that slope, in which case high.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like conditionally low. Like as long as you stay
clear.
away from the like Jews are in control of porn stuff, then you should be okay.
Presence of ritual.
Oh yeah, that's
high as hell, baby.
That's,
you got
the whole
the
thing
rules,
is a ritual.
you got the memeing, you got the community.
Yeah,
it's all ritual. But you got the religious connotations.
Internet masturbatory Lent is the most ritualistic thing I've ever heard of.
Niche within society.
I would say it still is pretty niche.
I'm gonna say it, even with the articles, even with the 100,000 people, I think it's still relatively niche. Like if we go talk to our moms about this, they're not gonna.
We can't. They'll be like, we turned off the episode when you
as per your request.
Yeah. No, I think if we did like random person on the street, I don't know how many people would be like, oh yeah. I think it's like if you're very online, it probably seems not very niche.
Right.
But you know, that's not everyone.
That's a small percentage of people. Anti-factuality.
There definitely seems like there's some of that going on.
Yeah.
It's maybe not high, but there definitely seems like
medium.
there's some like, you know, pseudoscience like wellness stuff about.
If you don't jerk off, it'll make your testosterone high. Like that kind of thing.
Purity. If you keep your body pure, then your libido energy will give you the life you've always wanted.
Right. Percentage of life consumed. Seems like during November.
1/12.
Very high, yeah. It's kind of like cicada or like some of these other like very intense but short-lived groups.
Yeah.
So I feel like I still am not really sure how to grade those.
It's low, but it's there.
Right.
It does feel like in November.
Feels like your whole life might be consumed if you're trying, especially if you're coming at it from like, I rely heavily on this habit or this activity, abstaining from that, and not really necessarily like coming at it from a place of like, I'm going to replace it with something, stop it. I'm just abstaining. That feels like it might consume a lot of your life.
Yeah, to me it feels less about how much you rely on the habit, you know, the other 11 months of the year, and more about like how much does it affect you when you abstain, right? Like if it really does, you know, affect you, if it's all you can think about after day 3 is boobs or whatever.
That's me all the time.
That's okay. Bad example. If all you can do is be distracted by, you know, libidinous thoughts after day 3, then that does seem like it's maybe going to affect your life.
One guy was like, I'm 2 days in and I'm humping everything I lay on.
Yeah, if you're humping everything around you, then that's potentially life-consuming. But it seems like it also may just be 1 month, and if it's just like the type of thing where you're like, oh, I didn't jerk off today, I'm going to go post a funny meme on Reddit, then maybe it's low anyway. So, I don't know, low-ish, depending.
How about dogmatic beliefs?
If we were talking NoFap, it feels high based on what I've seen of NoFap personally. But for No Nut November, I don't know. Like
doesn't feel very high.
They're like come one, come all.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel like they're saying they're declaring
difference of opinion is allowed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Chain of victims. Feels low as hell to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there's a chain of victims.
Right. You can't even have a daisy chain, really.
I'm gonna kill you. Oh my god. So, what do you think? Is it a cult or is it just weird?
This feels like a just weird based on all of those lows and highs. Like, ritual was high. Right. But most other things, I guess depending on what we're talking about, the anti-factuality can get high.
Right.
But nothing else feels particularly culty on the list.
Agreed.
So just
weird. Just 1 month of the year, y'all are weird.
But that is not to say, we said this in the program before.
Not bad.
Weird is not bad.
Weird is good.
We are not here to sex shame.
No.
To self-pleasure shame.
Absolutely not. Or the
to
abstention
thought shame.
From. No.
There's no shaming. Thoughts. I heart thoughts too. There's no shaming on Cult or Just Weird.
Come one, come all. Not in November though.
Kayla, I have a question for you though.
What
teaser art are we gonna make for this?
Okay.
Like what is?
So
come
part
on.
of the press kit is actually their subreddit logo.
Oh really?
So I think that means you can use it.
Oh hell yeah!
And it's a little peanut with a little peanut with like a Ghostbusters like no sign around it.
Oh, I've seen that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that logo. Yeah. Oh, so I can just steal that.
I think so.
I can just
it's on their
jack
press kit,
that logo,
man. You can
so
jack it right off. That's it. Thank you for listening to my journey into No Nut November. And
if you decide to participate, good luck.
Godspeed.
And yeah, thanks, Kayla.
You're welcome.
I guess.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Chris.
And this has been
Cult or No, it's Cult or Just Weird.
Cult or No Nut.